At the corner of Choctaw and Water in Tahlequah sits a stout sandstone building with a big history. It's the Cherokee National Prison. From 1875 to 1901, the only penitentiary in Indian Territory was at the top of these steps. Construction in 1874 was paid for by the sale of some land in Kansas, known as the Cherokee Strip. The prison is now on the National Register of Historic Places. This summer, its clanking fan will be fixed and the whole place cleaned up and restored as a museum dedicated to how the Cherokee dealt with crime and punishment prior to statehood. Travis Owens with Cherokee Cultural Tourism says back then, the nation didn't look at incarceration as just a time for confinement.
Their idea about confinement was more about reform. So the prison was used not just to hold you and hold you kind of captured, but was used as a reformation tool. So when you were sentenced here, if you stayed for 1 or 2 years, you learned a trade. You might learn to be a blacksmith, or you worked out in the communities, fixing roads and things like that.
Prisoners were even rented out as laborers. And when they weren't on the job, they were housed in small Spartan iron cells.
One of the first things I noticed when I walked in here is how many of the bars are bent. Take a look up here. Doesn't it look like Superman tried to get out by pulling these bars apart? Didn't quite work. And even down here, you can see where somebody used their feet to push these bars apart. Not enough room, though, to squeeze out in between them.
Which is not to say there weren't escapes. Some prisoners did get away. Their stories, and the stories of those hanged on the gallows out back, will be part of the new museum set to open in the fall. The stories of many others who did time or worked here will also be part of the museum.
The Cherokee Nation is actually funding this restoration project, but we're asking for citizens, the public, to help us out with better telling these stories by providing artifacts that relate to the people that were, did their time here, or to some of those other maybe judges and officers of the law and things like that.
The Prison Museum is the latest addition to the Cherokee Nation's cultural tourism program.
Our cultural tourism program was actually established in 2007 to promote and preserve Cherokee history and culture. And we do that through a couple of ways. We do that by, one, restoring our cultural and historic resources in order to better tell the story of the Cherokee people. And then, two, by allowing visitors to visit those sites.
And as part of the building's preservation, its history after 1901 won't be forgotten. For more than 6 decades, it served as the Cherokee County Jail. Then in 1979, the Cherokee Nation reacquired it and used it for office space.
Yeah, quite inspiring to be officing here right next to some jail cells.
The Nation hopes it will be much more inspiring as a museum, with the building and surrounding grounds restored to the way they looked in 1875. In Tahlequah, I'm Kathy Tatum, the Oklahoma News Report.